Hey, hey. Welcome everybody to Miss Glow's Kitchen, where there's sugar, spice, and everything nice, where we slice, dice, and entice using everything we can, from peppers to allspice. What's up, my people? Y'all know what time it is? See y'all in the kitchen. Cheese sticks are on the menu today. Now, might be a little shorter, but nevertheless they are cheese sticks. And you're looking at everything you need to make these cheese sticks. Now, have mozzarella cheese, a block of it right there. That's what you need. You need oil, a pan, and some tongs, of course. Now, in back on the plates, the first one is flour, a bit of seasoning and a bit of seasoned salt, parsley, black pepper. Second plate, 2 to 3 eggs, black pepper and salt, just a little bit. Third plate, Italian breadcrumbs. Think about the acronym FEB, February. That is the order you will bread these: flour, eggs, breadcrumbs. All right, February, FEB. Now, y'all know what I always say: ain't nothing to it but to do it. So let's get to it. So I started cutting up the mozzarella cheese already. I had it frozen, so that's why it looks crumbly right there on the end of it. I had it frozen, so what I did was I let it thaw out a little bit before I cut the other ones. So that one's a little bit uneven. So, you know, a good way you can do this is you can cut the cheese without freezing it. You can bread them, and then you can stick them in the freezer with the breading on them. Because at the end of this, that's what I had to do. I had to bread them, and then I stuck them back in the freezer for a little while, and then I fried them, which is perfect because it ensures that your cheese doesn't melt too quickly or ooze out before you get your cheese sticks to be a really, really nice golden brown. So now, if you want to make longer cheese sticks, then get yourself a larger size block of cheese and cut them in longer cheese strips. Now, I wanted shorter ones. I didn't want the really long ones, so I turned the block that way and then cut it. So if you want to turn it the other way and get yourself longer cheese sticks, feel free to do that. It's still going to work. Same recipe, same everything, just a different cut on the cheese sticks, which is cool. So, okay. Now, I got wax paper right there, and the reason why is because after I bread these, then I'm going to put them over on that wax paper. Then I'm going to move the entire thing. Well, I'm going to slide a board under it, move the entire thing, and put it in the freezer so that they can freeze for a little bit, like I said. So this is going to be kind of messy. Now, normally when I bread something, I use this mixture like this. I will put it in the flour, put it in the egg, but only one of my hands will ever get into the wet mixture. So it looks like a mitten a lot of times when you're working with those eggs like that. But this time with these cheese sticks, for some reason, I had to use both of my hands. So both of my hands, by the end of this, looks like I have on baseball mittens, I promise. But it worked. Now you want to make sure right here, check that out. See on the top where the egg didn't stick? You want to make sure once you put that flour on the cheese that you are really pressing that egg down into the flour mixture, because you need the egg. You need the egg in order for the breadcrumb mixture to stick. Otherwise, it's not going to. Now, when you get to the breadcrumb part of it, you want to press the cheese stick down into it a little bit, or either on the sides that are facing you, you want to press those breadcrumbs into it so that they stick. So you want to make sure they're sticking before you put it off to the side, because there's nothing like having that breading fall off while it's in the pan. If you do, it's going to be a goddamn mess. I mean it. It's going to be an absolute mess. So you have to get the cheese out of the hot oil. It's too much. So just take a couple extra minutes right here during the breading process to make sure that your breading has stuck onto your cheese. So that's going to be an important step. Don't skip it. Don't forget it. Because it could be a matter of a successful cheese stick and a messy melted goop in your pan. You don't want to do that. All right. So work with it a little bit. So kind of do it like I'm doing it right here. I'm working with it a little bit. So I'm just making sure by pressing that on there, because you got to do that. Here, this is, see, it's starting to look like I have on mittens already. Look at my fingers, the tips of my fingers. It's crazy, but that's okay. They were worth it. They're really good. Yes. All right. Good. See, so you make sure don't miss those ends. You see how I just stood that up? Don't miss getting the egg on the ends of it. You want to make sure you cover the entire piece of cheese with that. So you want to make sure all of that flour is covered with that egg, because you'll have no problem with the flour sticking to the cheese in the beginning. So that first step You'll have no problems right there. So it becomes a matter of getting the second step and the third step correct. Because the frying process only takes a few minutes. Otherwise, this cheese will melt all over the damn place. So you can't. I'll take your time. It's good. I'm telling you. If you want to season your flour, season salt, onion powder, garlic powder, a little parsley. You can do what you want right there. You can do whatever you want if you want to season your breading a little bit more than I did. So have at it. Whatever you put on chicken, you can put in that flour and put it on this cheese stick. Because you know mozzarella is kind of a bland cheese. It's not the tastiest cheese. It enhances your dish, whatever it may be. But it's just that with these cheese sticks, we just normally will use their marinara sauce. So we usually have that red sauce to dip it in, which is cool. But if you don't eat that, if you don't eat any kind of tomato sauce, then you've got to have a tasty cheese stick. So in order to accomplish that, so that's why I used Italian breadcrumbs at the end. But if you want to season that flour, it gives you another level of flavor on here. Alright, so just keep going until you get all of them done. See, I'm trying to get the goop off my hands now. I promise you, I just made a big mess here. But normally I will do it with one hand. This time, it just wasn't possible to do it with one hand. It wasn't possible at all. Because of the fact that the flour was on there, but it was the egg that was the problem. The egg wasn't slipping off the flour for some reason, so I was having to work the egg onto the flour. So that was the thing right there. So that's going to be the thing with you. You have to be really careful with the egg part of it, and you have to turn your entire cheese stick over. Because if that egg does not stick all over the whole thing with that flour, then the breadcrumbs will not cover the whole thing. And if that happens, your cheese will more than likely ooze out into your hot oil. And you want to keep your cheese on the inside of the cheese stick. You see what I'm saying? So just be careful with that. Make sure. Now I'm going to show you these after they're in the pan frying. So hold on just a second. Here we go. The oil is hot. It is ready to go. Look at that. Sizzle, sizzle, baby. You know I always say sizzle, sizzle. So, okay. Another one of these cases where I say turn it, don't burn it. Don't leave these too long. If you leave these too long, they will get very, very dark very quickly. That cheese melts. All you want the coating to do is turn a nice golden brown on the outside. And when it turns golden brown, your cheese sticks are ready. And if you leave them in there too long, then your cheese will start oozing out of the cheese sticks. Or it will start oozing through the breading. So ideally in a perfect world, you don't want that to start happening. So don't worry about it. If you froze the cheese, no worries at all, because that hot oil, believe me, it's going to melt that cheese so damn quick you wouldn't believe it. Now look, all right, so I got a little cheese starting to come through, so I'm telling you now, I'm turning them over so the other side can get a little brown, but I got to take these out because I don't want cheese oozing. All right, check that out. I'll show you how it looks when they're done, when they're ready. This is it. I put some marinara sauce on it, and look how that cheese is oozing out. Woo! They're so good. Thanks for watching. See y'all later. As always, I appreciate you. Hit that like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.